caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I'm your host, Michael Calderese, and you know what a caltrop is. It was explained to you in the intro. We are your defense mechanism. And, you know, part of being a defense mechanism is to talk to people that are actually living the defense. And right now, man, we have Joe Bizonos, right? Joe Bizonos, he actually came. He's in studio. We're going to be bringing him on in a second. But listen, guys, one of the things I asked him to do is tell me what he was doing in like 3 to 4 words or less. And what he came up with was be a voice for the majority. And, you know, I'm going to start the show off with the mics right. And it's going to focus on the silent majority and how the silent majority has to stop being silent. And I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get right to it with the mics right. Shut the fuck up and listen. All right. You ever notice something weird about this country? We always hear about the people have spoken. Have they? Because from where I'm sitting, the people don't sound like anything. They sound like silence. And I'm not talking about apathy. I'm talking about full-on, scared to speak silence. And it revolves around the silent majority. The people who wake up early, go to work, pay taxes, raise families, but somehow still feel like extras in their own fucking movie. These people aren't loud. They're not on TikTok screaming into a ring light about all their problems that ail them and what are the people going to do about it. They're not chanting themselves to a cause of the week every week. They don't live in a constant state of outrage. They're just living. And somehow, in America, that's the least powerful position you could ever have or ever think to be in. Think about that for a second. The real Americans that just work and shut up have no power. They're the majority, the actual majority, but they have less influence than a handful of loud, organized, highly emotional fringe groups who figured something out. And they figured out that if you scream loud enough, long enough, and threaten enough consequences, the people in power will fold like cheap lawn chairs. And what does the majority do? The whole time they're watching the minority scream, they go, I'll go to work in the morning. That's the trade. That's the deal. You chose peace, and they chose power. And here's where it gets real twisted. The silent majority thinks they actually have a voice. They think they vote, I participate, that's my say. But let's be honest. Your politicians, they're not afraid of losing your vote. They're afraid of being attacked, labeled, destroyed. But when someone from the majority actually speaks up, what happens? You're not debated. You're branded. Oh, you think that? Then you must certainly be this. Oh, you said that? Oh, you're one of those people, aren't you? Labels come flying out faster than beers at a caltrop show. And the silent majority watches that happen and goes, yeah, I'm good. I'll just shut up. And just like that, the majority continues to stay silent. Meanwhile, the system keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling. All the double standards are just accepted. The special privileges, sure, why not? I'll take some more of those. Fraud, waste, abuse. Hey, I'm not going to look at that too closely because I know what's going on, but I don't care. Because the deal is simple, people. You, the silent majority, you go to work, you pay your taxes, you don't ask questions. And they'll run things however they want because you won't say a word. And you people are now starting to feel it, especially locally. You go down to places like where we live and where my guest lives, Ocean County, Monmouth County, New Jersey. You talk to regular people, not the politicians, not the activists, not the influencers, just regular people. And what do you hear? You actually hear doom. Not always loud, not always dramatic, but it's absolutely there in everyone's voice. Some think it's economic, some think it's political. Most think it's cultural. Different flavors, same feelings. Something's off, and I don't think anyone's fixing it or even wants to talk about the problem in the first place. And the worst part, nobody feels like they could do a damn thing about it. And that, guys, is the psychological trap. It's not just silence. It's learned silence. You were told to shut up since you were a fucking kid in grade school. But here's where it starts to change. Because if you could smell it, there's something happening right now. And you could not only smell it, I could feel it. It's not organized. It's not polished. I mean, fuck, I'm one of the voices and I'm not polished at all. And it's not even fully understood yet what is even happening. But something is real. And that is individuals, town by town, city by city, who are just done. Done with being ignored. Done with being labeled. Done pretending everything is fine while getting screwed from behind like it's some kind of patriotic duty. Take it in the ass for America, everybody, and fucking like it. And that's where people like me and my guy Joe Bizonos come in. Not because we're special, not because we got all the answers, but because we're willing to do one thing the silent majority stopped doing a long time ago, and that's say what needs to be said out loud. That's it. And once it starts, it spreads. You're going to get way more people wanting to speak the truth, because here is the truth. The silent majority isn't small. It's massive. It's so big that if it ever stopped being silent, it wouldn't even be a debate anymore. It would be a full-on shift to your favor. And that's the moment we're creeping towards. The moment where the majority stops whispering to each other and starts speaking where it actually matters. Because let's be honest, we outnumber everyone. But it doesn't feel like that, does it? It feels like you're alone, like you're the only one thinking this stuff. But you're not. There are millions of people sitting there right now thinking, yes, this is exactly how I feel. Thank you for finally saying it. And the only difference is most of them are still quiet. So maybe, just maybe, the silent majority doesn't need new leaders. Maybe it just needs a little courage, a little backbone, a little reminder that this whole thing, it was always supposed to belong to them, to you, to us. It was always supposed to be us, not them. And if that switch flips, everybody, the silent majority becomes the loud majority, then everyone's going to feel it. And that starts with you. You will feel it first. But the question is, will you speak truth loudly, or will you continue to accept lies in silence? It's up to you. That was the Mike's Right. I fucking hope you listened. All right, so let's do this. Let's bring to the stage my man, Joe Bizonos. Joe.
What is up, brother? How are you?
How are you?
You just hyped me up. So I feel like I can throw a meteor at the sun right now.
Dude, I
Catch it
like
with it,
that.
catchers, man.
I like that. I ooze positivity. You know what I'm saying? Sitting next to me, you can almost feel the oozing.
You are oozing a little bit.
Dude, I got to be honest. That was the first time I've really ever done the monologue where I could really see somebody like shaking their head in agreement.
I
with
was
me,
like,
you know?
I was like at church. I was, if I was on camera, you should just have me on there. I was.
You want to start singing some hymns?
I
and
was
shit?
licking it up. Yeah.
All right, that's I like your style. So Joe, this is what happened, guys. You know, I came across one of Joe's videos, and let's actually just play a clip of that right now, so everybody could just see, you know, what we are talking about. Here's a minute of Joe in action.
To our council, I ask you to apply the same rules to everyone or to no one. When residents watch structures go up overnight or see blatant code violations in their neighborhoods, they lose faith in you as leaders. This double standard is exactly what drives people to do work off the books, creating unlicensed, unsafe conditions that put neighbors at risk. Permits and ordinances exist to protect our communities, not to serve as red tape for average residents and speed bumps for those with influence. There cannot be blurred lines or special treatment. To my fellow residents, it's time to stand up together. If we want fairness, demand it. Come to meetings, speak up regularly, vote for purpose, not for party. The two-party system at a local level does nothing but divide neighbors that want the same things. This is our community. If we want to preserve it, we must stand up for it, and more importantly, for each other. Thank you.
Dude, that was you. And I got to tell you something. You know, you felt like you were at church earlier watching this. I felt like I was at church watching you. I felt like you were like an up and coming parishioner of the no bullshit, you know, rules, you know. And I love it because what you spoke about is something that, you know, we've been beating the drum on, and we need more people to beat the drum on. It's just overall fairness, bro. So why don't you do this for everybody? First off, you know, because again, I was telling everybody how we met. So I see that video of you. Then all of a sudden I have like people messaging me out of the blue, like, yo, bro, I got the best guest for you. I got Joe. He's this MMA guy, you know, he's my MMA coach and all this. I'm like, here's another fucking MMA guy. That's like, you know, well, I gotta get in shape and fucking, am I gonna be fighting? Like, we already had my run-ins with MMA guys this last month. But dude, we have a conversation, me and Joe, and I said, yeah, you absolutely have to come on the show. And he shows up, everybody. This is how you show up to the Caltrop show. You show up with beer. He has his made in Italy beer.
Yeah.
Manbrea.
Menabrea. I don't know. It's the first time I
Hey,
ever had
man.
it.
Cheers, bro. Thank you. Welcome to the Caltrop.
Thank you.
So, dude, tell everybody really quick, like, who are you, bro? Because you came out of nowhere in my world. So we didn't even have like a who the hell are you conversation before you showed up in my house.
No, there was no warning. So I grew up, high school dropout. So I don't really believe in the education system. It was not lack of intelligence. It was lack of desire to put up with bullshit. And I don't like when I know someone's bullshitting me. So that was like this origin story. My X-Men origin story was that. So the reason I started doing what I'm doing, I had this anger, just with everything going on in the world. I think we briefly talked the Epstein file stuff, kind of like it's not silly, it's pretty serious, but it like just like that, like what are we doing? Like whether it's legitimate or not, it's one of those things that you're like, we're just not going to react about this kind of thing. So I just had this like underlying seething thing. So I kind of just put that energy out there and said, I got to do something productive with it. So it happened very organically. I ran into some people that are on the council, and I got encouraged to go to a meeting because I bum rushed them when I saw them. And then I ended up I didn't even plan to speak the first time I went. I just went up there, and then I met these wonderful ladies who I'm in constant communication with, who have the same mission as me. And they go to it's a small group normally that goes to these meetings, and which is a shame. So
same like 6 people.
It's the same 6-7 people. And then like you imagine like nothing's gonna get done if it's the same 6-7 people every time just reading the same thing over and over. So I got like pretty pissed. So I went up and I kind of just said, hey, get used to my face. I didn't plan. I was stuttering. I had no idea what I was gonna say, but I was like, I'm a Jersey boy. I believe in the American dream. You're not gonna, snuff us out. You're not gonna like, put this candle out. And that video got traction. And then I immediately was just like, I have to like be armed with some education if I'm going to do this. I went and got just out of the blue. I went and got the education for the zoning and planning that's required if you're already a board member. And then now I'm just going there and I'm just trying to be the voice. I mean, you're a contractor as well. I'm in people's homes. I know how they feel. And most people are happy just clicking on Facebook. And I was like, that's not enough for me. So I have to just, I felt compelled. I felt like a higher calling to just go and be like, you know what, I'm going to go raise a little hell. And I want people to join me. I want people to, do what we're doing. And that's like the main message I want to get across today. I'm hoping they get to know me as well, but that's my main thing. Like we the people, like we have power. I want people to know us and, work together.
Dude, the first time you went to council, was it like me? Like, so I went there and it was the planning boards I started attending. And you watch it and you go, this is really, really bad. Like, it's so obvious how paid off everybody is, how like the lawyers are all snickering up with the board members beforehand. And you could just see the planning board guys like asking the most leading questions. Like, there's not a tough question asked by any of these planning board members. And I got to the point where when I would ask questions, it was almost, now it's me against this fucking lawyer because nobody else wants to do it. All right, good. Now I'm tearing your ass up. And Mr. John Jackson, he hates my guts in this area. He really does. He gets beat red in the face. I love pissing that guy off because he's the biggest jerk off on the planet, if you ask me. My opinion, sue me, jerk off. But he is like, he's one of those guys. So and then I started going to the council meetings and realizing like, all of this is one big joke of a show. None of you guys are doing anything. None of you guys even understand what you're voting on. You're getting handed a script. You're reading a script, and you all seem like you're actors. And you're all acting out your role as politician. And it really started bothering me. That's why I started asking some of these hard questions. Is that similar, bro? Were you like absolutely disgusted the first couple of times you went?
The first time I went, I just felt like I was like at a school assembly because I have no reference for this stuff. I literally felt like I was like a high school kid, like watching like the principal talk to like the lunch aide, talk to like the lunch lady. And I will give credit where it's due. I know a few members of our council personally at this point, and there's some good ones in there. But I don't. There's no blanket in anybody. I definitely saw some things in there where it just felt like some of them I was like, what are you doing?
And you're Howell, right?
We are Howell.
So I got to tell you right off the bat, I love your mayor.
He's great.
Your mayor, I had one conversation with him, and it's just when you could tell they're a real human being when I hear like 9 fuckings and 3 pieces of shit,
yeah.
like in the span of the first 9 sentences that they say. It's full of regular language. And I didn't feel like I was meeting that guy's representative. And that's a lot of times what you feel. It's, when you date a hot chick, sometimes it's like, you're not meeting them, you're meeting their representative. You know what I'm talking about? And then it's like 6 months into it, you're like, you really meet who they are. You stop the customer service. It's no longer customer service. You're dealing with a real person and it's ugly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like they are.
Yeah. He'll give me a noogie if I talk about him too much, but I do like John a lot. We have had conversations, just off book, nothing. He's a good person. He got into it for the right reasons, but this is the point I'm trying to make to everyone. Even if we love our mayor, love our elected officials, they need support because special interest groups, they're the ones that like, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and that's like the thing I'm trying to like say to these people is like, yeah. We all have problems with the changes that are happening within Monmouth and Ocean County, but certain communities are louder than others. And if we're all sitting there on Facebook and worried about certain things, then we're not going to get anything out of it. And that's my main point.
So let me ask you this, because I asked Ocean County this question a couple weeks ago, and the answer was resounding. If you ask me, I mean, over 1,000 comments, and it was one thing after the other. Bing, bing, bing. What do you think? The 3 biggest issues in Howell Township, Ocean County, what do you think they are?
3 biggest issues. Well, obviously, it's just zoning is number 1. As far as the complaints that I'm seeing, it's a huge problem with zoning and not having rules across the board. Honestly, as far as Howell Township goes, what I'm seeing is the main thing that people, we've talked about Chris Pollock. People are seeing what's going on there. We're in the beginning stages of it. And I really think it's getting the zoning and getting people's voices heard. I can't pin 3 exact things because I'm like in gung ho for my zoning stuff right now, but it is a major issue because it's very obvious to me that it's not rules for everyone.
So I think that the top three were overdevelopment by far. Overdevelopment far outshined everything. Special privilege was up there. Two different sets of rules was up there, but it was really overdevelopment, taxes, and Lakewood. That was really it was overwhelming when you look at those three. Lakewood's a giant problem, and unfortunately, when we say things like Lakewood, what we are actually referring to is the complete and disgusting overdevelopment and lack of giving a shit for everybody else around them that isn't part of a religion. And I'll say some of the things that you say whatever you want here, but everyone knows who I am. So that's what we're talking about here. And when people talk about Lakewood, we're talking about traffic. We're talking about, again, so many people crammed into a lot of areas. We're talking about a lot of traffic problems. If you live in New Jersey, you notice that your car insurance rates, they go up all the time because it's, hey, you live in the most dangerous area in the country to drive a fucking car. And we just do now because the amount of people that are crammed in. And when you do that, you create an environment to where people want to drive like assholes to get around it. Mm-hmm. It's just human nature, So that was the top three things. And I think, when you see Howell, Toms River, Brick, all of our areas are fighting the exact same battle. Yep. And it's funny how it's like, why do you think we're all saying the exact same thing? And why do you think we're all, just for saying it, we get accused of being a certain thing? Why do you
I will happily talk about this because I didn't get into this to be some like rubber duck bubble bath politician. I had no.
Are you running for politics?
If I have to, I will.
Okay.
If it comes to a point where I feel like I'm supporting the next run of council coming in, if I feel like that they're not living up to the expectations, because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to every single meeting. I'm showing up. I'm trying to rally the troops. So if I feel like they're not holding their end for some reason, or they're succumbing to pressure, I will absolutely run for council. Whatever comes my way. But to answer your question, it's very intentional. I believe that this is an agenda that's happening. And again, there's trigger words that are used if you use that terminology, but it's the term shtickle pioneer, that they're, I deliver furniture and I'm in and out of the city all the time. So I come from Brooklyn all the way back down to Monmouth and Ocean County. So I see it 100%. And I'm just watching things play out. And it's very dismissive to say it's from a place of hate. Nobody hates that I speak to anyway. I'm sure there's people out there. Nobody that I speak to on a regular basis as a hateful person or hates someone's faith. It's your actions. It's your actions, your lack of accountability, and the obvious agenda that's being that they're trying to accomplish. Like you can't sit, like I would love if someone would sit down with either one of us or both of us and just tell me that this isn't an agenda to try to snuff us out and effectively do whatever they want.
I can concur with that assessment. I think everyone that has watched me knows that I would love from somebody from that community to sit down with me. And the craziest part is I had Mordecai Bernstein on and I was very nice to him. It was I asked him difficult questions and he challenged me to come back on and he questioned me. I was like, say when? Let's do it right now. How about yesterday? Yep. Right? I'm down for this stuff in a heartbeat. You were down for it in a heartbeat.
Same.
The people that are on our side are willing to talk about it. And I'm sure that if I was able to say, maybe let's say I take myself out of it and I have you talk to somebody else, maybe they will like to talk to you more than they like to talk to me. And maybe I'll be the moderator of it. I'm willing to do that as well, because, the conversation has to be had. And I don't see anybody on that side wanting to have the conversation. All they want to do is call us names. And, I always look at it like when you start calling names, even the Facebook conversation, the second you become a label, that person automatically lost the conversation. And you see it all the time. And I got news for you. It's not just one way or the other. It's both sides do it. When I say something bad about Trump, I'm a jerk off to the right. If I say something good about Trump, I'm a jerk off to the left. And I'm some type of name regardless. So it is what it is.
Yep. 100%. And that's the political division on a local level too. Like, why do we care about parties on a local level? That's a great point. And it's just another means to divide neighbors that are actually trying to we want like clean streets. We want fairness. We want like politicians that we can like or tolerate.
Do you hate anybody? I want to get this out. I want to get this out in the open because I asked Chris Pollock the same exact question. I asked everybody this question. Do you hate people for who they are?
I do not.
Like no hatred whatsoever.
No, I'm Catholic. I'm Christian. We talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm a practicing Catholic. So no, we were taught to not. I'm definitely not going to make this.
we were taught to not to kind of sound like Mater right there. Like
not to. Totally.
It's it's Catholic. We are not supposed to hate.
We're not
like
supposed to. And I'm talking about and when I say that, it's like, you have to not look at like what people choose to use the Bible as a tool for their own agenda. So
Yes.
I actually try to follow like what Jesus Christ is all about. So, and I'm not like a Bible thumper, but I don't even talk about it normally. But to answer your question, yeah, that's something it's important to me to try my best to not succumb to knee-jerk reactions and to push that stuff aside when I'm talking about issues like this.
So to me, again, like, Christianity and Christians, they call Jesus the truth, right? So if you are a Christian, the only thing you should be interested in, period, is the truth, okay? Because that's what you believe Jesus is. That's what you believe the Bible is, truth. And, to me, that's the only thing that matters, man. I don't care how I'm looked at. And obviously, you don't either, bro. You sound a lot like me sitting in that chair, and I absolutely love it, because, dude, everyone has to understand where we are coming from. And why don't you tell them? Like, they know where I'm coming from. Like, where are you coming from? What, like, you are a religious guy, obviously, right? But you have a situation where you're saying enough is enough. So where are you coming from? If it's not hate, where is it?
Well, it's an obvious agenda, and I don't like when as someone that's religious, I don't like to see when someone's weaponizing a religion. So like, don't bullshit me. Like, we all know what's going on, and it's exactly what you said. Every time someone wants to talk about it, trigger words, hateful words are thrown in our faces, and it dismisses our argument. So I'll tell you exactly what the people I talk to in Howell are thinking. They live in these neighborhoods that they grew up in. Their grandma has a house there. Their mom, their whole lives are Howell, New Jersey. And next thing you know, the neighborhood starts to change. And, when it first started to happen, it doesn't start with hate. It starts with all of a sudden you live in a residential neighborhood and you realize this giant McMansion has been turned into a place of worship. And it's on, 2-3 acres, all this, whatever it is. And then what if they have a septic? So, okay, the septic is zoned for a 6-bedroom house. And next thing we know, there's 40, 50 people there every weekend. What does that do to the groundwater? What does that do to the health and safety of the community? What if your kids running around the development and, cars whizzing in and out, people not
and
paying
they do,
attention,
and they 100%
we
do.
all see it.
It's 50 cars parked. They completely consume the streets and everything.
Oh, what if an emergency vehicle passes by? Are you going to risk your child's life? Or, children are children. Their kids are out playing. Those kids are the same as every other child on the planet. I don't want someone's neighbor to hit one of their children, God forbid.
And isn't it interesting? It's like, so I always try to take these idiocracies. So it's like certain groups of people move into your neighborhood. You didn't immediately say get out to them. You welcomed them. Mm-hmm. And then what does happen? That welcome gets turned into, we're going to do whatever we want, and we don't give a shit about what you guys think. And then what are the results of that, bro? Like, what are you seeing? Because, we've had other people on, but what are you seeing in Howell that are the results of that type of behavior? How do people feel around you in Howell?
People are so resentful. And what's worse, they feel resentful because of the obvious physical ramifications of the safety hazards that I just mentioned. But then also it's kind of like if you were right leaning when Trump was coming up, and I felt like if you had a right leaning or more traditional voice during that time period, you weren't allowed to, anything you said, we felt very disempowered. And again, as far as my political party goes, at this point in my life, what the hell does that mean? It means nothing to me. Issues mean something to me, but I was a self-identified right-leaning person for a long time. I'm a business owner. I'm a Christian. And like anything you said when Trump was first getting into his first term, like anything you said, we were very, like, it was like they just call you an idiot. You're just an idiot.
Yeah.
You're stupid. Oh, if anyone thinks you're the biggest dumbass on the planet. So people are feeling that way. They feel like okay, I'm not a dumbass. I'm not evil. I'm nice. I go to church or not, whatever, but I'm a nice person. I don't like these physical things that are happening with my neighborhood. I don't like to feel that I'm being kicked out of the town that I grew up in, and very intentionally. And whenever I want to bitch about it or say something about it, you're anti-Semitic. You're this, you're that. Oh, you're hateful. No, we're not. We just want fairness across the board. We want zoning laws to be enforced. I don't think that's so much to ask.
It is a lot to ask, because when you have a group of people that need special privilege and special behavior, and they have special needs, because that's really what it's defined as, is like special needs. The reality is you are something to them because you're trying to stand in the way of what they need to accomplish for themselves. And it really, again, it's, I look at it and it's funny to me, the people living in total diversity are the ones that are anti something, because it seems like the ones living in segregation are the ones that are completely anti. And again, what you're talking about a real issue. You're talking about a safety issue with cars driving very fast in neighborhood roads, and we see it all over the area. Let's face facts. With traffic on residential streets that have no business being there, you see it in Jackson with 10 to 11 different garbage cans outside of one residence. You see these things happening. The 9,000 cars and all these apartment buildings that they build, like Westgate. You see this stuff happening over and over and over again. And like you said, that's not your religion doing that. That's your behavior doing it. And it's funny because everyone says we don't want Lakewood. We don't want Lakewood. But the problem is Lakewood comes when you do certain things like Lakewood does, right? Lakewood comes when you smash 1,000 people in a square mile. That's Lakewood happened. And you think of what Jackson just did. They half of their council approved to build the majority of their, or a good chunk of their affordable housing on the Pinelands. The most disgusting part about that is like the Pinelands were deemed like unbuildable, so they're going to buy that land cheap and then make millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars on it, destroying the wetlands, destroying the Pinelands, destroying the environment, all in a Democrat state that claims that they love the environment. It's like this type of shit drives me crazy, bro. Like I can't wrap my head around. That's why I do it. That's why, like, my mission is to call these people out, and it seems like you have like a very similar mission, something similar going on in how we need your voice, man. I gotta tell you, it's your breath of fresh air right now. I love it.
It does feel like I feel like when you're doing something you're supposed to be doing, it feels like things just unfold the way you and I met. I have been talking to Chris Pollock, who's a really, really like a genuine, as you know, is a genuine person. He's in it for all the right reasons. He's a really nice guy, and he's got his work cut out for him too. But I keep telling
everyone thinks he could do it by himself.
I was just gonna say it takes a village.
Yeah, and that's, I guess, like that's why I love like me running into you, because you are doing this, and Chris has started doing it, and he's doing his part. And I got to tell everybody, Chris is legit tortured doing this stuff. He does not want to be around these people. I could hear it in his voice. I have to tell Chris to, like, dude, stay positive, stay happy. Let's go, man. You're doing good things, bro. Because you could see it just ripping at him. And I get where he's coming from, because you're dealing with people like just some of the disgusting things, like singling out one of their residents who happens to think differently than them, and then putting her on blast and calling her a traitor and all this stuff. And they got that all because they had like dinner with this lady, and just to hear her talk things out and try to get different perspectives. And that's the disgusting nature of this beast, where you have that going on, man. And Chris is a warrior for it.
He is, and it's just
but he does need help. Sorry, he does need help.
He does. It's disingenuous if you look at like what whoever is trying to do this. I talk my hands too much. Whoever is trying to accomplish this, like, it takes everybody. It needs, like, these videos need to surface, and more people need to show up to the council meetings. Just show up to the council meetings. Like, show up. I don't care if you're shy, you never want to say a word. Your presence in those meetings, your applause in those meetings, or your boos or your chants, whatever you're doing in those meetings. My first meeting, there was 7 people. My second meeting, there was like 50 plus. There was another reason with the rent control board, while there's people there, which they did table the discussion because people showed up. I'm sure they would have completely dissolved that that rent control board in our town,
Mhm.
which protects, or it's a voice for the mobile home communities that we have. If so many of that community, those neighbors showed out for each other and they tabled that discussion, which in the scheme of politics, they bought themselves time. And then, of course, there was my little crew and others that showed out because of my Facebook presence. And we started hollering about this. Less than 24 hours after our meeting, there was a News 12 article about us.
Mhm.
I was on, people like, dude, you're on the news. I'm like, I'm on the news? For what? What'd I say? I'm trying to rah-rah get everyone together, like, to cooperate and just, like, be a voice. I hardly spoke about, like, what I was trying to accomplish, which is just gathering people. Speak up. If you have a problem, speak up. Other people are speaking up. That was my only message. They blew it out of proportion. It became, is Howell obsessed with religious rituals? Nope, I'm sure not. I'm obsessed with fairness. So, no, we're not obsessed with religious rituals. Thank you, whoever said that. So it's just it's bullshit. Like, it's like it feels like I'm in the Hunger Games. Like, you ever seen the Hunger Games?
Yeah.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in the Hunger Games, like, where I got the berries in my hand. I don't know. It feels wild right now. It feels crazy. I'm cracking another beer on that note.
Great, dude. Crack
beers.
another one. Let's have some fun. We're actually been going 35 minutes already. It's going very
I
fast.
could do this all day.
All day with you, bro. Exactly. It's funny because we are accused of a lot of stuff, and you said something like you were on the news. It's funny because I'm like Voldemort. I almost had it come out of his nose. If it would have came out of his nose on the camera, that would have been the first clip I did tonight.
Good, thank you.
But yeah, like my name's like Voldemort, bro. You notice people avoid me like the damn plague. They don't. Nobody wants to come on me. I'm nice. I'm like a nice guy, bro. I'm not. I could be a dick. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, the newspapers, they don't want to even say my name. Nobody, it's interesting because I had and I love her, Mrs. Teacher New Jersey, I call her. She had a rally, and she didn't need to even ask me to speak, but there was a lot of people up there speaking, and the majority of them sucked. I'm not going to bullshit. She did a very good thing. They had a number of very good rallies. The one dude who spoke about autism awareness did a really good job. Actually, both of them did a really good job on that. Spady obviously killed it. Paul Kenitra is a very good speaker, but a lot of them were bad. But they are so afraid that they wouldn't even have me speak in Barnegat in front of 150 people. And it was like, hey, help me set this up, but you need speakers. And it's very funny to watch it happen. And it's funny when I talk to the politicians, they want to talk to me. And they all want to tell me, I fully support what you're doing, man. I really do. They shake my hand. Dude, I really mean it. I love what you're doing. That's what they say to me. But I can't say a word about it.
No.
God forbid. I can't. It was like, please don't even tell anybody that we spoke type shit. Isn't it funny?
I'm getting the exact same thing. And again, I know these people are trying. That's the difference. Like, it's very easy to sit home on your computer and be like, "Oh, what the hell are they doing?" Okay, you want to fine. That's your right. We're Americans. Is your right to bitch on Facebook. But I'm telling you, at least in Howell, I can't speak for everywhere, but there are people within our local government in Howell that do care. That and not just as one issue. They care about pushing forth good issues, but they're up against it. That's where the general public comes in. That's where meetings come in. That's where they all got into this shit for a reason. So we have to support them. And that's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Even speaking about Chris, I was on Facebook before we jumped on, and someone was like giving him a hard time about like, oh, sounds real easy. I never saw you actually do anything. Like, do you know what this guy's doing? Do you know how hard it is to show up to boring ass meetings to get a boring zoning and planning certificate, which I don't mind. I like, I'm a contractor.
Get a budget the night before you're supposed to be like talking about it and voting on it and making it. Get that. And this dude gets that. And he's up to 2:00 in the morning reading the fucking thing when he has to wake up at like 4:00 in the morning to go to work.
He's a career guy.
He's a career guy. Yeah, exactly.
And both you this weekend, I was in touch with both you guys. Both of you guys were working, doing things with your families. Chris was teaching a class. Like, we're all regular dudes that are just had enough. And that's the thing. We're not special. we're just dudes that are pissed off enough to start talking about it. We need more people that are just like, enough.
So what happened? What happened with you? In you said that when we were talking that you had a couple things that you were trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
Get denied. Why don't you talk about that a little bit of that double standard and what people are actually pissed off about? Because you know, I made a thing at Manchester when I was talking about sheds. That everybody knows who has tried to put a shed up in Ocean County. If you've ever tried to put a shed up in Bricktown, New Jersey, you understand the hassles that you have to go through with all the regulations, the rules, and everything else that have, especially God forbid if you're anywhere near the water, you know. So you understand that side of it, but then we watch buildings get built without permits, and before we're going to build it and ask permission later. Why don't you tell your own experience on that?
So for me, we moved. I've been in all over Monmouth, Ocean, and Middlesex County my entire life. I've never lived outside of New Jersey. My wife and I bought our home in the Howell Farmingdale area. Plenty of land as far as the zoning is concerned. We tried to put a pole barn. I'm a woodworker, a hobby woodworker. So I just, it sucks having your workshop attached to the house. We got all the plans. We did everything they asked us to. Super quick to just slap a denial on our face. We spent a couple grand on getting the land surveyed, all this stuff. We did all the right motions, and I was very discouraged. And then as it was again like a movie, I was just pissed off driving around town, and I was driving in downtown. How I'm like, that wasn't there yesterday. Like what is that? I don't even remember where I was, somewhere off of Route 9 delivering furniture. I'm like, that wasn't even like what's going on here? And then you start looking into stuff, and then I get obsessive. I'm an obsessive guy, so I'll go out and start Googling stuff like what's the date? When did this start doing this? And then the next thing I know, I'm just like the piss and vinegar just boiled up, and I was just ready to rock. But I haven't even tried to get my barn stuff back. I bet they would have loved to just be like, oh, give him his stupid barn, give him his stupid workshop, shut him up. Too late. I don't care about my workshop anymore. I'll work on my regular garage. It was the kind of the icing on the cake with everything else going on in the world. And everyone feels like they can't do anything as far as like what's happening in Iran or what's happening with the Epstein files or whatever the hell else, whatever reptilian overlords are eating babies. We feel like we can't do anything about it. But you know what you can do? You can go and complain to your local government and actually enact change in the place you friggin' live. I don't want to say who cares, but like it is too big for regular people to worry about the whole world. Worry about your town. Go fight for your town. And a lot of us have real problems going on in our towns that it is. For guys like me, guys like Chris, guys like you, we need support. We need people to actually show up, get in your car. It's an hour for a meeting. Just show up, show that you're present, show that you mean business. That's what we need right now.
And, it's not just showing up is a lot, it's, what people don't realize is watching these, sharing these videos, sharing your clips, getting your message out is free, and you're on the damn thing anyway. So it's like finger the fuck out of our like buttons, because our like buttons love it, right? Take your finger. Don't make it gross. Don't be disgusting about it, right? Just take it's your tip of your finger. Finger that fucking share button. Send it out to your friends. Let them finger the share button at the same exact time. Amen. But I make a joke of it, but it's the truth. Finger the fuck out of my button. But dude, it's like if you can't do that, then you really have no right to even bitch or talk or do or any of it, because you actually have people that are fighting for what you want to accomplish. And what's your message for the people that say it's already too late, nothing could be done? Because you hear that a lot, right? I mean, it's like
been the main thing.
And before you even ask that question, were you able to sue under any type of religious laws when you got any denials? No, right?
I didn't even think about it, but I did think about calling it a personal prayer shed and seeing if I had better luck. But I didn't. They would have.
That's what needs to happen.
Like,
I'm telling you,
why not?
I have so much going on. I do need help with this, everybody, but we have to start our own religion, and everything's religious.
Yes.
We have to make a mockery out of this. Yep. We absolutely have to make a mockery. But back to the question I was asking you. Which was it? Do you remember?
Which question was it?
Like
you're hyping me up.
Yeah, man. I like rapid fire questions, and then I rapid fire forget the questions that I was just asking you.
Oh, we were talking about people like their main, like the spirit of like they feel like it's too late.
Yes, yeah. What is your great job, dude? Yes. Okay. See, that's what happens when you don't rip bowls before you come in.
I did.
So tell me about that, because we do feel a big sense in our area that it's over. It's done. It's doom and gloom. What's your message to those? Do you have a message for them?
I have a lot of opinions about it. So
Okay.
it's like, so what do you mean when people tell me it's too late? Too late for what? Too late to find common ground? Is it too late? Like no one is or wants to be running a community out of town with pitchforks and torches. And if you do, sorry, seek Jesus. But as far as what I want to do is I want to find common ground. I want to talk to the people, I'm going to say the Orthodox community, Hasidic community, whichever faith that you align yourself with. I would love to talk to someone about this and find some common ground. And like, what are other options do we have? I started to explore them. I'm not, which, it's tough. There's a lot of rules and restrictions, which again, to me, it's my personal opinion. It just comes off very calculated. Like, well, this is the only option. The only option is, putting 10 synagogues in one residential neighborhood. That's the only option. We can't discuss it amongst the community and find something else. So what? Is it too late for what? It's not too late to draw a line in the sand and say, where do we go from here? The conversation has to happen because this is how hate begins. Hate begins with secrets, confusion, feeling like you're being silenced. That's how hate begins, not what we're doing now. This is the right conversation to be having.
Yeah, man, you said so many good things in that statement right there. That is how hate begins. Hate has always begun through misunderstanding and through dismissal. Okay. And when people are just dismissed and their problems dismissed, and it's like if you grew up as an 18-year-old Irish kid, you've been blamed for everything. Your entire life, black people blame you, Jewish people blame you, the society blames you, girls blame you for the patriarchy. Like if you think about it, if you're a 20-year-old fucking Irish person, you have your entire life you've been hated, and you're the problem. You're the enemy. You're the biggest issue facing. And then you grew up with a guy with a dad that worked his ass off, a mom who was cooking corned beef every other day, like it was delicious, right? But you're blamed. Your whole life was blamed for that. And you're right, man. It's we have to get past that somehow because it's really disgusting. And the people that do say, like you said, too late for what? I love that. That's absolutely perfect. Because when it's really going to be too late? When you sell your house and you lose money on it because you're one of the last people to get out.
Yeah, and
I'm trying to break that stigma because it's like, man, we have to stop thinking like that. We have to stop thinking it's doom and gloom. We have to stop thinking that there's nothing we could do. That mindset drives me fucking crazy. It's that defeatist, negative mindset that everything's already gone. There's nothing you could do about it. You just need to go along with it. And I think that's the message that a lot of people want to portray because it's weakness. It's a loser mentality, and I'm trying to break that loser mentality.
It's a conditioning, like we briefly. It is a conditioning, and I think it's agenda. To me, it just feels very intentional. Like I'm sure many people that I've spoken to have had people aggressively knocking on their doors. They want to, oh, you better sell your house now. We're going to give you top dollar if you sell your house now. And then people get scared. That's like, there's a term in real estate.
Well, they make everybody feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And this is like part of what you said, right? When you allow certain communities to act outside of the community, what inevitably starts happening is you feel uncomfortable in your own home. And even people in Brick right now who are a little bit insulated from it, honestly, like in my area, we feel the inevitable doom coming. And it's something that everybody feels, that everyone understands that this is going to happen.
Oh, it's absolutely. I mean, Tom's River, obviously Jackson is effectively like Lakewood Part 2. Howell, we're bordering, so we're directly, it's that.
But you feel it. You feel uncomfortable. Everyone feels uncomfortable. And I have to ask every community, like, and all the leaders and everybody that doesn't, because I was watching that rally and they're talking about, we have to stop overdevelopment. We have to do this. are you really going to, any one of you guys that were up on that stage, do you really want to take on the real issues? Do you really want to ask the questions about the real issues of why these things are taking place? They don't want to do that. It's up to people like us to do it, because the feeling that I get of everybody feeling this doom and gloom and feeling that we got to get out and feeling that negativity, it does bother me to a point where that drives me, man, because I want to get we can win. And what does winning look like to you? Like what does a victory look like in your world?
To me, it's open conversation, number one.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that veil of mystery, because if you choose to act in secret, you will be treated like a secret society, so to speak. So having conversations, I do have to bring up that I do jujitsu. I'm a brown belt. I train in Toms River, and in our school, and every school I've been at, actually, because I've trained mostly in Monmouth and Ocean County, we have all walks of life. I've seen narcotics officers training with drug dealers, allegedly, and allegedly. And I've also, I've trained with multiple people. There's actually a friend of mine who is from the community. I'm not sure exactly which, but he's from the community, and I won't say his name, but we've been talking a little bit. And you have to remember, people at home, you have to remember, this isn't some secret like club. Like the people that are your neighbors that are moving in, they're still just regular people. They're also have to answer to their own authority, just like we do. We have our council, we have this, we have that. You have your parent, whoever you have, they have a community they have to directly answer to, because they do have a tight knit community. So I don't want to have a community of tight rules, but I want to have a community. So my point is that we have to start doing it now, because others are doing it. Others are pushing their agenda. And I'm not saying it's everyone in the Orthodox community. That's not fair. I don't generalize anybody, but it is whoever their leaders are, they do have an agenda. I'm not saying, Mitzi or whoever has an agenda. I'm saying someone within that community clearly has an agenda. Look up the term shtickle pioneer. It's happening. And let's talk to them. We should maybe even omit those leaders. Why don't we get together with the people that agree with us? There's 100%
There's
people.
Plenty of them that
100%.
agree with us. Plenty.
So
and I tell them, I'm speaking for you as well.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with you.
Neither do I.
That's what I try to get through to everybody. This is for all of us, because a lot of them don't want what Lakewood brings either. They don't want the congestion. A lot of people are fleeing that type of behavior. And
they're also, you have to remember, this isn't the 1700s. These folks are also on the internet. They see the things that are being said. Who would like, just like we don't like being called anti-Semitic, they don't want to be called XYZ. They don't want to be lumped in with every person that shares the exact same, whatever, that shares their religion. We're individuals and they're in our community. So be a part of our community. I will talk to you. Whoever wants to reach out to me, open DMs.
That is winning to me.
Absolutely.
Okay. Winning to me is making sure everybody understands that this is one community and this isn't micro communities that only serve one community at the detriment of others. Mm-hmm. Okay. That is winning to me. Winning to me is when we are all living in the way we're supposed to be living. Right. And now everyone says America is a melting pot and all that. And I'm not, listen, diversity is one thing for diversity's sake. Like, I don't like diversity for diversity's sake, forced diversity.
100%.
I like what we're doing here. You look at Brick, you look at our areas. We have a mixed population of people here. I did it on my neighborhood. My street alone has got incredible diversity to it. Mm-hmm. And none of us not like each other. We're all living next to each other. We all help each other out. It's not like we walk it. Do you need help with anything right now today? But if any of my neighbors needed something, they know they can walk right over here and ask it. Right. So that's winning to me. Yep. Winning to me is like what you said, having the conversations, coming to an understanding, having one population understand truly how they're affecting their neighbors. Mm-hmm. Not in the name calling way, not in the label way, not in the dismissive way. Because let's face facts: when you're lazy as fuck and you just call somebody an anti-Semite, all you're doing is being lazy and being dismissive. you're being dismissive of the real situations that I talk about and Joe talks about, and everybody in Ocean County in our area can clearly see is going on. And when you just do that, you're being dismissive of everybody's real problems. Okay. And like, to me, when that stops and the real conversations happen and one community comes out of that where it's not just them and versus us, I don't want that.
No.
I guess like what's being lost in what I'm doing to a lot of people is that I want you here.
Yes.
This is what like everyone says, oh, these people got to go. They're not fucking going anywhere. Right? And the truth is, I'm not afraid of a woman pushing a stroller around the neighborhood. If that's the problem, do I want the traffic? No. Do I want all the cars that your very large families bring? No. But I don't want you to leave. I want you to understand what you're doing to your neighbors. I want the special privilege to stop. I want us all to live on the same footing. And then from there, we're living together, that we're solving problems together. We're getting the community better together, and we're not having this fight. It seems like they just want to fight, though. Not just they, but it seems like the fight just is going to happen because, you said it earlier. You wish people sit and talk to you.
That's it.
Start asking people to talk and see what happens.
Talk to me.
Because they haven't talked to
Message
me.
me.
What do you think's going to happen? You think they're actually going to talk to you? No.
I hope so. I don't think so. I really do hope so. I'm not just saying that. Like, I'm not.
You seem way less abrasive than I am. Look, he's wearing a nice shirt, right? I actually am wearing. Hold on, I got to show this one off.
The situation was okay.
I got to show this off. Right?
Yeah, you got.
So this is the Brick Breakdown shirt. All right, this was made by my man Jersey Abe, centercutmedia.com, www.centercutmedia.com. We do have some preliminary shirts up. This is, let me tell you something. We have a couple of different shirt options. Like, if you want to go with the cheap ass shirt, or we could go with this one. This is the soft style shirt. I love these soft style shirts. And this is an awesome logo they put together, Brick Breakdown. If you want this shirt, please go to Center Cut Media and check it out after you finger blast my like button. But
got a finger blast.
Yeah, but I mean, what I was saying is like you seem way less abrasive than me.
I'm like a Catholic hippie, I guess. It's a very weird combination of personalities. I really just want people to. I want people to talk. I don't like when I get knee-jerk reactions to things. I don't like if I'm on the road and I raise my finger and whatever. I don't like having any boiling of emotion that hasn't been thought through or rationalized. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing the general community, and I can't speak for the Orthodox community, but what I feel is that they see these hateful things, presumably hateful. I don't believe they're hateful. Some people, you have seen some shitty comments out there. So you might see 1 out of 20 comments is some schmuck saying something really bad. They see that like, well, they don't like us. And then we see what's going on with every time I talk, I'm an anti-Semite. And then we're like, well, they don't like us. They don't want to live amongst us. So, and if I had to ask like someone, a liaison, whoever is willing to talk to me, like, do you want to live with us? Do you want to live with us? Do you want to really be a part of this community? Or do you want to snuff us out? Because most people feel like they're being snuffed out. So that's the first conversation. If you want to live amongst us, I think there's many, many people that are willing to go through the motions, sit down, find solutions. And if you don't, that's a completely different conversation that I don't know how to handle that. I'm talking from the hippie perspective. If you want to be with us, let's do it. But let's hold hands.
So I'll answer that question for them, and I'm going to be disgustingly brutally honest.
Do it.
They will say they want to live around you. Okay. Actions and words are two totally different things, okay? When your actions say you don't want to live around me because it benefits you not to live around me, when your entire existence is about living not with me, it's about having your kids not play with our kids because God forbid they eat something over my house, which is going to be fucking delicious, by the way.
So good.
Okay. I mean, my wife could cook, my mom could cook. Like, there's a legit Italian food happening.
Look at that last name. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, like, give me a break. Right. But so there's again, their words will say, no, of course we want to live around you, but the actions speak otherwise. And so to me, that's what I'm trying to break down. Right. Because you guys everyone could say what the fuck we want to say. You have those politicians that they will tell you whatever you want to hear. But what happens is, and you look at this through history, there's always tell you what you want to hear, tell you what you want to hear, tell you what we want to hear until you're outnumbered. And once you're outnumbered, now you're going to listen to what we want. Now you don't get to shop on Saturdays. Now you get everything that they live by. You're going to have to be forced to, you're going to be forced to live by. And that's the stuff that I feel that's building up in Jackson, especially when you watch, grocery stores change to different grocery stores. Your shopping now your life is directly affected to it. And then now you're uncomfortable. Now you lost. Now you're losing as others are gaining. And now you feel like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I got to leave now. And that's what I'm trying to get out. Hey, listen, let's do this. The chicken parm at the Caltrop house is out of this world, Justin Dell said. You're not even playing around. Justin Dell, he was there for the chicken parm championship in Brick. And I got to tell you something. The chicken parm that my wife and my mom can make beats all of them. Don't give a fuck. The gravy they make is better. It's from we have fresh tomatoes out of the garden. Come on, what are you gonna do? But yeah, man, this is no bullshit. But if you have any questions for Joe, we're gonna keep him here for about another 15 minutes. We'll go a little bit over. If you have any questions for him, I'll read them out now. Put them in the chat. I'm gonna look through the chat right now. We'll kind of go through and see if there's anything that's gonna jump out at us. Right? Well, nice. A lot of YouTube chats here. A lot of new names here. Lyd Akeley, is that Lyd? Oh, no. Lydia Kelly. It's a lot of these, when it's just one word ran into each other, it's kind of hard to where the break is. Lydia Kelly says, fed up for not accepting it. Yeah, damn right. Also fed up with being beat down for not accepting it. I love that, Lydia. I started a tort claim against Howell, Angela says, against Howell Township, a tort claim. Good, man. Listen, force everybody to give as much information as we possibly can. One of the reasons why I want to talk to a lot of these people, especially the leaders like Avi Chanel, like, help me get the real numbers out there. If you guys want to put a lot of this to bed, right? Let's get the welfare numbers. Let's get the real SNAP numbers. Let's get all of the actual data and get out the real data to people. That way we can stop with the innuendo. We can stop with the guesswork. We can stop with the bullshit. Let's get it out for everybody to see, right?
And explain your rules. Because you know what I've noticed? Every time I look up a rule on, and I'm not going to talk out of my ass. Every time I look up one of the rules of their faith, I have rules of my own faith. If you bring it up, it's like, well, that's not true. That's actually false. Like, even like if you use Grok or ChatGPT, I hate them, but like once in a while I will use one of the AI apps. And they're automatically like loaded to be like, well, just so you know, that could be taken as anti-Semitic. Like, I just asked an honest question. I'm asking about, their rules. I'm going at it to see if I'm correct in being respectful towards a rule. And all of a sudden I have a robot like telling me like I'm anti-Semitic.
100%.
What are we
You're
doing?
a Jew hater.
What are we doing?
I can't
here?
possibly answer your question, you fucking Jew hater.
What is that?
Dirty. You know what? Delete this app right now. You know what's funny? Because I do have I use ChatGPT for a couple things. And if there is something that's a little bit too risque, it'll definitely be like, whoa. And then I go right to X and I use Gronk. And Gronk's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do it, man. I'm down for whatever.
I got some
Gronk's the guy that you go to use drugs with. And shit, it's like, if there was like, they're all different ones, but if this was like a real life, Gronk's the one you party with.
Yeah.
That's
Gronk's the real one.
Gronk is yes, but listen, my ChatGPT knows me now. So when it becomes a pussy, I call it a pussy. And you know what's interesting? We were at the bar the other day, and one of my methods for getting my friends to go to the bar is don't be a pussy, Fair. So another friend of mine said, does anybody actually react like when you tell them not to be a pussy? I said, of course, every one of them does. That they will come because I said that. He goes, I don't think so. Puts it in the chat. The first two were yes, definitely. Mike has called me a pussy, and I looked at myself and said, all right, I can't be a pussy, so I have to go out and do it. Yeah, so listen, so I do call ChatGPT a pussy sometimes, and it'll straighten itself out a little bit. Because again, you're here. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be helping me. You're not supposed to be grooming me. You're supposed to be helping me do what the fuck I'm asking you to do. Now shut the fuck up and make some jokes about some Jews. You know what I'm saying? It's like, can we stop?
That's what it should do.
Help me make some jokes. Let's make some jokes about their curls. That's the funniest part about it. Like Gronk will legit do whatever the fuck he wants.
It roasts.
It roasts. It 100% does. Laura, I love it. Laura K 435. Laura, every show you are phenomenal. Really appreciate you, Laura. Says, hey Mike, Joey, fellow Howell resident here. LLCs are a problem. Have you dove into the LLCs buying houses yet? And
yeah, well, that's who a lot of the community seems to be. They purchase houses under. Again, it's that realm of secrecy and liability and litigation. That, again, I'm not going to generalize, but that's what I'm seeing as I'm looking these things up. Absolutely, it's not like, you know, the Jones family buying a home. It's such and such LLC. And again, if you look into tax benefits of all that stuff, I'm not saying in either direction, saying any specific allegations, but look at the difference between purchasing a house with a trust or an LLC versus as an individual. You do your own research. But yes, I've seen that.
Totally Random says, I've been trying to be vocal, more spat at state level because I'm so pissed off at how things run in this state. Mikey, Andy Kim, Cory Booker all sound more stupid each time they speak. I completely agree with you, you know. You know what the problem is? I feel like everybody I supported at one point in time has gotten dumber and dumber and dumber as the more I listen to them. It's kind of it's a even like, and I haven't supported any of those people that you named. Let me just be very clear about that, because Mikey Sherrill I don't like. Andy Kim I think is the fakest person I've ever seen ever in my life, and Cory Booker is probably the biggest moron with the weirdest eyes. You see Spartacus, man? Why is he always like this? Why is he always surprised with his eyes wide open like he just ripped 9 lines of coke, bro? Like he was riding a crazy train with Ozzy back in the day. No, that dude does coke. I don't care what anybody says. Lynn Cat Lady says Chris is 1 vote now in November. The tables turn. Yeah, man. Hopefully that's the case, because once again, we definitely knew way more. We definitely need way more people involved in this. Angela says, I was born and raised in Lakewood, and my parents and the community did fight for that town in the 80s. And now I'm in Howell raising my family, and it's like deja vu. You know what the problem was in the 80s? You didn't have shows like this. And it's the God's honest truth, because, you know, say what you want, but the media has been controlled since the 80s. Okay. This show is not controlled. Have I ever controlled one thing that you have said?
We discussed shit prior to this. We were talking about just saying what's up.
What's up, man? Yes. So shows like this aren't controlled. Videos, social media, how things could get out. You look at how we met. You know, it was a video he put out, videos that I put out. Right? You were saying something that you saw me. And I don't know, I'm not going to put it in his mouth, but I think I inspired him in some type of way.
Inspired. There goes my hero. No, for real. You, Chris, you can go ahead, put him in there now.
No, I love it.
You did. You guys did. Like, and seeing people actually do it. And Chris, shout out Chris Pollock. He is fighting the good fight, and he's a real person. He's a genuine dude.
Nancy says, but you were hitting the spot with. We are all hurting at Joe. Yeah, I mean, you're all 100%. We are being laughed at. Lorraine says we are being laughed at. I do believe we're being laughed at, Lorraine. That's what kind of pisses me off. And I got to tell you something. I'm not a dude to be laughed at. I'm a dude to laugh at people. And especially when I think we hold all the cards, we hold all the power, and we don't want, if we're tired of being laughed at and everyone's tired of being treated as a joke by the people that are supposed to not treat you as a joke, when you're sick and tired of that, you're going to start doing what Joe and I are doing. And I'm going to tell you something, like, Joe, you just started this a little ways ago.
I've been involved for about a month, and I've been doing something something every day, whether it's personal education or a post or whatever, but about a month straight.
And you said, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Yep.
And now you're sitting in this chair, right?
And
it's going to be interesting. So I did the same thing. I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Next thing you know, I'm on a Tyler Oliveira video. Wow. And wild being in the middle of Westgate and Lakewood, being trespassed from buildings and shit.
How cool is that?
Watching car accidents. It was through that day. That day was really cool, really wild. But you're right, though. Since I started, but I've seen real victories in some of the stuff we're doing, right? I mean, we've had real victories in brick. I'd like to say that I exposed the DPW problems and I got all those guys a raise. You're fucking welcome. Thank you. You don't have to tell me thank you, but I definitely got all those guys more money. That's the truth. And everyone's like, oh, taxes just went up. Taxes going up anyway. I'd rather see some of these guys make some money that aren't making it, right? There's projects that we have 100% highlighted that we resoundingly defeated. Okay. There's the Manchester Mikveh. That was a W, right? Dubs can happen.
They happen.
You know, they happen when you're not silent. The losses happen when you don't play the damn game, right? If you don't show up to the match, the person that shows up to the match is going to win, right? You're an MMA guy.
Yes.
If you're competing against somebody and it's you against him and you don't show up and he shows up, do you win or lose?
Get my ass whooped.
Right? Now, let's just say that guy is way bigger, way more powerful, way stronger than you. If you show up, do you have a shot in hell to beat that guy?
I think so.
There you go.
I beat up some pretty big guys in my gym. You can wear the hat or not.
Hey, I'm just gonna toss this out there. I fucked up some people up. That's what he's saying. But what you're saying is, just because they're bigger, faster, stronger, maybe you still have a puncher's shot.
Yeah,
you
you
still
gotta have heart.
but you have to be in the game.
Yes.
You have to be fucking in it.
Yep.
And if you're not in it, you absolutely, it's like, it's that old cliche, the old saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But it's the truth. And if you're going to sit there and say there's nothing you could do while you're sitting on your damn couch doing nothing, you're right. There's nothing you could do because you refuse to fucking do it. Sit on your couch like a lazy fucker and just shut up. Stop complaining about the problem. Stop complaining about anything going around about you because you're doing nothing about it. You want to stop it? You want to stop the problems? This goes for every issue that you people face in your lives. You want to stop something? Actually get involved. How about we stop the bullshit of saying, oh, we don't talk about religion and politics, and start talking about them?
Yep.
How about you get your ass out to the meetings? How about you get your ass out and start talking to your neighbors in a real way? Stop being scared. Stop being afraid of losing your job, because I'm going to tell you something. They can't fire all of you. If you're all doing it, they cannot fire every single one of you.
Amen.
It's fucking simple. Sorry, I had to go off on a tangent.
He hypes me up. Like, I'm sitting here. I'm forgetting them on camera. I'm like that meme.
Right,
I don't
let's
remember which
go.
meme it is. Just like that praise the Lord meme. And don't take that hand. That's the praise the Lord. Just so you know, I can't even raise.
You're
your hand.
doing the fucking Nazi symbol. He has his hands
this
closed.
This is a praise the Lord.
Nazi.
Nothing else, please.
You fucking
Nazi.
Nazi.
Everything clip.
That's
the only
it. That's
thing.
the only thing. Oh my God! Did you see? He had his arm up in a salute.
How will Nazi Joe Bizonos? No, that is. I am a Christian. I love everybody.
Nazis got together. You white supremacist Nazi lunatic. I fucking.
They did it to Elon. He was like, he did what he just like.
He actually did
awkwardly waved.
He kind of did to hell Hitler though. He was like,
yeah, that I was doing
you did.
I was praising Jesus. Yeah, I was praising Jesus.
Oh man, no. You know what it is though? It's it's again, you're a breath of fresh air because you seem. We do need people like you. We need people that can talk, that are smart, that are unafraid. Because that's the big thing is everyone's afraid, and I got to tell you, the afraid stuff needs to stop. Let's see if we have any questions on the Facebook chat. No, it doesn't look we have a lot of questions on the Facebook chat. Community doesn't require people to give up their identity, but it does require a shared commitment to the place we all call home.
Yes.
It's called respect. Teresa, I love when Teresa chimes in because it's like I feel smarter reading her comments. I legit really do. Maggie Foster says it's atrocious. We buy a house and property. We pay exorbitant amount of taxes on top of high interest, overpriced house, and we can't do anything on our property unless we pay for permission to do it. It's disgusting in New Jersey. What do you think of that?
I always think of that South Park thing with Randy where he goes, "Oh, this was America. I thought this was America." Every time I hear that, I'm like, "Yeah, I thought this was America." That's how I feel about that. Yes.
You know what's interesting though? We're in such a fucked situation because I'm like, if I want to put whatever in my backyard, I want to put it in my backyard. But here I am going, no, you're not putting that there. The exact same fucking thing. Wait a second. If I can't do it, you can't fucking do it. So I do agree with you. It's either a free for all or it's not. But I got to tell you something. When you do realize that the free for all probably isn't the best idea, because Lakewood's a free for all. It's a free for all. And that's the problem, right? Like I look at Brick and people are like, oh, Brick's the worst. Brick, you can't do shit in Brick. And I go, Okay, well, there's kind of a good reason for it. Like, I would rather be told no, I think, of 150 fucking times. The problem is when you tell me no and you don't tell anybody else no.
That's the problem.
If you're going to be really strict, great. Be really strict for everybody.
Yep.
Don't allow the bullshit and then tell me no for everything. If you're going to say yes to them, then, because what happens is, like, you've said yes to all those people. So you know what I'm going to do? Now I'm not going to tell you what I'm building in my backyard. And I don't care.
That's exactly what I said in my last speech at one of the meetings. So again, people are discouraged. Pardon me. So if you and you have like everyone's father-in-law or their dad, whoever, they think that they're God's gift to tools. So they'll go in. We'll just put that in the ground real quick. We whoever. And then next thing you know, your neighbor's house is on fire because they knew that they were either going to get shut down or bullied, and they're defeated because everyone else is doing it anyway. And the difference is we don't have organizations like Our Lupa protecting regular residents, whether we're faithful in our own faiths or not. That's the problem. We're the only ones not using our faith as a weapon. So
because it is used as a weapon,
100%
used as a weapon.
And so
it's crazy how many more fires we have in Howell and Jackson recently.
And car accidents and
buildings burning, new construction buildings burning down. It seems to be a new thing in this area, doesn't it?
So I don't know.
I'm not going to call it shady as fuck, but that's shady as fuck. Jenna Galarza says it's the same old story. Only a few speak out and preach to others to do the same, but they only complain on Facebook. Welcome to the frustrating world trying to advocate for lazy people. I hope you can rally the troops. Good luck. Like, I tell you something, Jenna, there's benefits to bitching on Facebook. Bitch on Facebook. Do it. Do more of it. Do more bitching at these people. Fill queues. And you're in Jackson. You're in people in Tom's River. Dude, get on fucking Roderick's page and fill his fucking Facebook page up with bullshit. Comment on everything that he says. Use this shit to your advantage. Be the noise. Be the pain in the ass. Be the people that are so far up these guys' asses verbally. I'm not talking get in their face like some of these jerk-off politicians would say. No, get on their Facebook pages. And then you know what? Share our shit to their pages. Tag them in everything that we do. Yep. And then you're going to listen, I got to tell you something. I started like you put out a video, you get 200 fucking likes on it. And it's like people take notice immediately. Yep. And it doesn't seem like it's a lot of likes. But when I had, 3,000 people on the Brick Breakdown and I was getting 200-300 likes on this stuff and I was getting engagement and you see 40, 50 people commenting and you just watch, you see it and people start talking. Maybe they get a couple calls to the township. Yep. All of a sudden you notice that their attitude changes. They tried. It was funny because like when I first started doing this, they tried to make it like I was I didn't exist. We're to ignore this guy. He's going to go away. Blah blah blah. All of a sudden, little traction. Then a little more traction. Then all of a sudden, you get actual little real reach when you get on like a Tyler Oliveira or when I did the mikvah stuff. Like I woke up to 30,000 views on that. Surreal. And it was incredible. And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're that guy. Hey, you're that guy. And now all of a sudden I have people sending me that their kids are seeing my videos on their TikTok feeds. Yep. And it's not my video that I put out. It's some other guy. And then I'm watching like people do review videos of my videos. And then like that was the craziest shit when people were doing the reviews of the Tyler video and it was me talking and they were like, this motherfucker can speak, man. Like that was weird watching those videos, but it's the truth. But then you start seeing that you're matriculating the ball down the field and all of a sudden you're taking a hell of a lot fucking more seriously. Yeah. And listen, Jenna, it is from that Facebook complaining. There is something to it. Yes. Everyone wants to hate on that. Oh, you want to get on Facebook. No, you know what? Get on my fucking page and complain all you want. Algorithm the fuck out of me. Complain, say your comments. Because I'm going to tell you something. This is what I've learned Facebook commenting does. People actually do learn from your comments. Yep. There's a theme to comments. That's why the algorithm pops up and it's like, well, on this page, on this post, and it gives you the theme of what the conversation's about. If our politicians were smart, they would take your comments and they would say, what do the people want? And they would use that, and they would really be able to gain a lot of support doing it. I don't see any of them doing it.
I know that they're reading comments. If you post in your township page, they're your neighbors. The politicians in your town are your neighbors. They are reading it. They want to know what's going on. I didn't come out of the blue because like I'm some plant. I literally was just some angry dude and started talking about it. Showed up. I can form a sentence. So you go similar to yourself, similar to Chris. We just show up. We start talking. And then that's all it takes to get noticed. And I will do what is in service to my town, in service to my community. I will do what's required of me. I'm not like some ego dude that has some aspirations because I want to, be a mayor or a council person. I will do it because I know there's some that are doing it correctly, but it appears that most people feel like their voices have been silenced. And I don't to be frank, I don't give a fuck. I'll say whatever I'm going to say. If someone doesn't like it, come say it to my face.
But we need people that don't have these national political aspirations.
No, I don't.
It's like we need way more people that are just willing to get in, say this is what's right for our people right here, right now. And I'm going to say what needs to be said because I'm not looking for that group's vote or this group vote when I go into a state where I need you to. But this is what's happening. Everybody that wants to run, even the ones you like in our area, I got news for you. They got national political aspirations. They're not going to do what you need. They're not going to say what needs to be said in the manner in which it needs to be said because of what they want, because they know they cannot have that on them because it's going to be used against them at some point. And I got to tell you, like when I run for something, if I run for something, I don't give a shit. I'm owning everything. And this is why they don't fuck with me. Because I own it all. I've already told everybody about me. You want to know about me? I'm not fucking perfect.
No.
But you are getting the real deal. Like what people say to me all the time is like, I watch you and I could sense like an authenticity to it. And I tell us what you see with me is what you get. And I kind of feel the same way about you. Like 100%. The conversation I had over the phone with you, what I saw on screen, I'm getting, right here. Let's do this really quick. We have Jersey born, love it. All the new names in the chat, man. Go ahead and seriously finger blast my like button. Really appreciate it. Avi is bragging about the 7-8 story buildings coming to Ocean County. Yeah, he is. I mean, it's crazy. And then we had Lorraine say yes. She said it twice. She was so happy about saying yes.
Dual yeses.
She said it twice. Exposing the truth. This is another one. Ready to say Mr. and Mrs. Vieira. I love it. Mr. and Mrs. Vieira. Really appreciate you guys being here. Exposing the truth. Great job, guys. Appreciate you saying what we're thinking. Now, that is exactly why I think Joe's doing what he's doing.
100%. That's it. That's the reason. Everyone feels the same way, and everyone feels bastardized for speaking their mind. Listen, I have the life that I dreamed I would have when I was younger. Not because I have $1 billion in the bank. I do not. But I have a steady stream of income. I have a wonderful partner. I have a wonderful house. I have a great support system. I get to teach jiu-jitsu, which is my absolute passion. I'm good. If I just rode this wave and no one was fucking with me or fucking with my neighbors, I'm cool. The fact is
I wouldn't be doing this.
I'm cool. I wouldn't do that. I'm not doing this.
If you guys were doing what you needed to be doing, if my local politicians were doing what they needed to be doing, if one community wasn't screwing everybody else, if I didn't have people like what they're saying is like, it's over. If I didn't have this, I would not be here talking with you. We would not be doing this. We wouldn't have an avenue. But you know what's interesting about this topic, especially, it's an explosive topic because it really is at the forefront of everybody's mind in every one of our surrounding towns around Lakewood.
It's the elephant in the room.
Paul Griffin asks, and I guess we could both answer this question. Mike, knowing what you know now, would you buy in brick? Fuck, dude. I not only am I bought in brick, I'm here for the long term, guys. Like I'm a dude that has a 21-year-old. On Wednesday, I'm going to my son's college graduation. I have my daughter graduating from brick schools this year, and I have a 1-year-old that I'm not leaving my town. I grew up here. I love this fucking town. Do you understand where we live, people? Everybody that's not around here, that doesn't understand New Jersey, we're not one giant city. Brick is like a beach town, okay? We are a working beach town. When you look at Ocean County, and you look at our area, we are an hour and 15 minutes away from New York City. We're an hour and 15 minutes away from Atlantic City. We're an hour away from Philly. Okay, we are 45 minutes away from cranberry bogs. I'm an hour and 15 minutes away from mountains and skiing. All right. I literally in 2 hours, I could be in every situation. I'm 5 minutes away from the beach, from the ocean. All right. We get snow. We have legit everything at our fingertips. We have some of the most, like, it bothers me because when you go away with your friends, like, oh, well, let's go to this beach somewhere. And that beach is never as nice as where we live. Like, the areas are never as nice as where we are actually just from.
Yep. We live in the awesome fucking place.
It's unbelievable. And yes, is there a lot of bullshit that happens with taxes and all this stuff that come with living in New Jersey? 100%. But I love this fucking area. I absolutely love it. So would I buy in brick knowing what I know now? Yes, dude. Yes, 100%. I think I truly believe this is a great town. And I do think that we could preserve the town for what it actually has always been. And let me tell you something, Brick, now I didn't go to Brick High School, but when people around New Jersey play Brick teams, no matter what, you just know what you're getting from the kids, from the parents. Like this, the whole Ocean County, believe it or not, we produce some of the best athletes that are on this fucking planet come from our area.
Look at the wrestlers in Ocean County. Forget about it.
Some of the best wrestlers in the country.
Shout out Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar, absolutely. I almost fought him when we were younger. That's a true story.
Probably would have been. Well, you're big, but he.
No, so this is back when we were in high school. We were both smaller. Like, so he wasn't a very big guy. I wasn't a very big guy. We were at a party, and I was a karate guy, and he was a wrestler guy. We both could fight. So it was like everyone wanted us to fight at that party. I'm like, I don't want to fight anybody. I'm here to get chicks, you know, like, but yeah. So it was like we almost, but it was like people were trying to get us to fight for some unknown reason. I never had a problem with him. He was always a stud wrestler, dude. And I love watching his career in the UFC. But yeah, I mean, but it's more than that. I mean, you got like the Santinellos that are from Brick area. Their kids are absolute fucking studs. I think they have their wrestling gym. What's that called? Shore something. Everyone knows. You're gonna know. Put it in the chat. But dude, some of the best athletes we have legit. It's just unbelievable when you look at our area. That's what we're trying to preserve. We're trying to preserve that culture. And you look at, nothing for nothing. You look at Lakewood right now. It doesn't have a little league. It doesn't have any of these things. Nothing. Do you have a football? Do you have a youth football league in Lakewood? No. Truth be told, where their little league field used to be in the middle of town is now like a parking lot, right? So that's the destruction that we're talking about. Let's do this, Joe. I don't have. Let's see. Any other questions that would go? That is all true. That is true. They are united, and they all go to business school at least once a week under the guise of religious activities. We do not, but hopefully we start. Yeah, we definitely need to get our shit together. I got to tell you something.
We have to get our shit together.
Jersey 105 says, oh, what the hell? What the hell is going on?
The radio station, or is that just a profile?
I don't know. I'll try. There we go. Yeah, I guess Jersey 101.
Elvis Duran.
Jersey 100.5 says Monmouth County is much better. Blows Ocean County out of the level. Sorry, bro. Kiss my Jersey 105. Kiss my ass. You fucking
don't divide us.
Oh, where are you?
Both.
That's Sure Thing Wrestling. Yeah, Sure Thing Wrestling.
That's
absolutely
okay.
Great thing.
Everyone.
It came out of.
Like
Sorry,
wrestling shout out.
Definitely wrestling shout out. Garrett Graham, Brick Memorial graduate, drafted by the Texans. Nick Catone had a good MMA career. Yeah, there was a dude growing up. What was his name? Damian Hahn, I believe his name was. He went to Lakewood. That dude was a fucking monster. Like 1990, I think it was Damian Hahn. Guy was absolutely ridiculous. But it's just we put out some great athletes. But dude, what are your final thoughts? I kept you an hour and a half here. Give me some
as long or as much as you ever want to do this.
Dude, you're obviously more than welcome back.
Thank you.
Right? But do me a favor. Tell everybody, just what closing thoughts on I don't know, whatever you feel like talking about.
My closing thoughts are we need to be a community, whatever background you come from, whatever religious beliefs you hold. this is America. Everyone, whoever's here is here. We need to be a community. We need to find a way to cooperate because if at the very least, what I want to do, I want to bring people together and lift veils. I don't like the secrecy. I don't like not knowing what's going on. So in that spirit, I want the most hippie outcome possible. I want people to live amongst one another. I want unity, and I don't even want to think about another alternative. But to me, people like Mike, myself, Chris Pollock, and others, people are coming out of the woodwork. That's what we want. We want the conversation. The first step is the conversation. If you don't want to have a conversation with us, if you don't want to live with us, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell anyone. I don't have a solution for that. My solution comes from that we all kind of want the same shit. So if we do, let's get to work. And if we don't, let's cross that bridge when we hopefully never get there. That's what I'm thinking.
Dude, absolutely perfect. Totally random said Han was a freak. I got Ed Bannon said, wasn't Damien from Jackson? I believe Damien was from Lakewood. I believe he was from Lakewood High School.
Sorry, Damien.
Back when Lakewood had sports teams where they still do, but it's really not the same. Dude, let me tell you something. That has been absolutely fantastic. I love your message. I love your aura. I love your personality. Everything about it. You're obviously a younger version of me.
How old? 35.
Yeah, so you remind me of a 35-year-old version of me, dude.
You're a stud.
Dude, no, you're an absolute stud. I really appreciate it, dude. What? Obeer, I got to read this one out. Oh man, I'm so bad. I got to learn how to read. I got to learn how to read good. It's Oberio Jr. Oh, is it Oberio Jr. 1972 said first time listener, how a resident, love the authentic and real discussion, fellas. We're here in the long run with you guys. Preserve community. Cheers and God bless. Dude, let me tell you something. That's the stuff that keeps me going, honestly. Oberio Jr. That's what keeps me going with doing this, because I do have a lot of people coming up to me now, and hopefully you're going to have more people doing it to you. And it's going to be people saying to me, we are behind you, right? We need someone like you. We need someone that could say what needs to be said and do what needs to be done. And let me tell you something, people like you, and this is why I want to highlight people like you, because and I have, is it Will Philly? It's coming on Wednesday. Have you heard of that guy? He's I think it's Whit Hahn. I always mess this guy's name up. And I believe it's Will Philly that's coming on.
If I don't, I will look, absolutely, and I will be listening.
He is the dude that Will is it Will Philly? I believe it is. He's the guy that was like that. Will Philly is a candidate. Yeah, he's a candidate for Cranford Township Committee. In New Jersey, he's the dude that did the breakdancing.
Oh yeah,
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have Will Philly coming on
Awesome.
Wednesday. I can't wait for that as well. It's funny because I'm going to have him on. Then I'm driving through the night to South Carolina to go to my son's graduation. But dude, people like us, people like Will he's someone that's running. You know, I wanted to do the media thing. I wanted to highlight. I'm the guy that wants to embarrass everybody into doing what we need done. That's where I feel like I want to be the embarrassment. I want to put you on blast, and I want to, and again, like Joe said, we want conversation. I want conversation. You want conversation. That's one of the main points you made here. We want conversation. And it's funny that conversation is not happening. It's happening between people like us. And you're willing, right? And I'm willing, and everybody else that I know that is on, that's not, I hate saying our side versus others, but when you're doing this, there are sides right now. I want to break those sides down through conversation, but our side's willing to talk. I'm hoping the other side comes around a little bit and becomes more willing to talk, more possibly more willing to compromise, because that's really what it's going to take. Totally Random says you better have Philly's karate video ready. Dude, Totally Random, send me Philly's karate video. I have not seen that, but yes, we will have Philly's karate video. I can't wait to have him. Han graduated from Lakewood. Justin Dell. He's solid, bro. He's the one. He's always there for me, right? He's always there. He says Han graduated from Lakewood in '98, lost one match his whole high school career, And it was the state championship his freshman year. He's just a beast. Yeah, dude was just absolute fucking beast. I remember he broke my buddy's shoulder, like picked him up. And my buddy, he was not a little human being. And Han threw him around. I think he wrestled like 185. And that's it to me. He was a
really
monster.
Like
yeah, he was a monster in high school. But another one. Lida Kelly. Might be Lida Kelly.
Okay.
Might be Lida Kelly. This conversation started happening. Thanks for getting them started. They need to happen. They need to get going. Thank you very much. Listen, man, Joe Bizonos, right?
Yes,
Joe
sir.
Bizonos. Everybody, learn that name because I have a feeling that you're going to hear a lot more from him. I got to tell you something, bro. I'm very impressed with you overall. All right. I think you're coming at this from the right reasons. And I don't sense hate in you.
I don't have it.
I sense can we just live together? And that's really what we're getting. I really appreciate you guys. Listen, man, being a caltrop means sharing this. It really does. We are our own defense mechanisms, people. We have got to be our own defense mechanisms. And that's the only way that you're going to get change for yourself is when you start defending yourself. Sitting in the seat next to me, we have an MMA coach. I trained karate my entire life. I have friends that do karate for life protection, right? But one of the things that you learn a martial art for, one of the main reasons is for defense. It's not for offense. A lot of the times it's for defense. Offense stems from it, obviously, but you have to be able to defend yourself physically, and you also have to be able to defend yourself mentally. And that's what caltrops do, all right? We are defending ourselves with conversation. We're defending ourselves with truth. And that's what makes us different. And that's what makes us deadly. And this is why these people, and I'm saying it, do not want to come out. Not any of the papers, not any of the politicians, not any of the leaders, no one from the community wants to come out and have a real conversation. And this goes for everybody that I get on. Goes for everybody I get on. We're here. We're obviously real willing to have the conversation, Joe and I. Listen, man, love that you've come on. I really appreciate you. Everybody, I really appreciate this. Obviously, guys, follow him. Go to his page right now. Everybody that's on my page, follow him. Joe Bizonos, where can they find you at everywhere?
Instagram, Facebook. It's just Joe Bizonos, Bizonos.
So it's not, you're not trying to be like, you're just a regular dude,
be my friend. It's
guy.
my page. It's not, at Joe Bizonos Saves the World. That's not my job. It's my page. Feel free to follow me. Feel free to message me. If you want to be a dick, that's fine. I might ignore it. But if you really want to talk to me, let's talk.
Yeah, if you want to be a dick to me, please go in my comments. I prefer people roasting me, but just be better. Right? For all the jerk offs that are being dicks on my page, I need you to step up your game. If you're gonna call me names, make sure they're good names. If you're gonna roast me good. You're gonna break my balls, fucking break them. Do it right. Don't be a pussy about it. But thank you guys, everybody. Seriously, Joe, thank you everybody for watching this. I really appreciate everybody. I will be back, obviously, with my man, Will Philly, on Wednesday. Cannot wait for that to happen, guys. Really appreciate you. Obviously, finger this like button. And obviously, have a great week. Have a great couple of days until Wednesday. This caltrop is out. Later.
So ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep like Calderez in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind and we don't care. Mike Calderez is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care. Mike Calderez is the caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care. Mike Calderez is the caltrop.